said, like you said, if nothing happens, I'm assuring that you're on top of this situation and everything will be addressed. But don't start with
addressing the gathering, the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations, Mohammed Rabiu, commiserated with the students and assured of police intervention.
We have met with the university authorities on how to go about the security, and we are still waiting. The police are still waiting for the response from the student and the university authorities. And it is not long, last 3 weeks, we held a meeting in the office of the Vice Chancellor. So police will protect you, and rest assure you. Please kindly, starting from today, from now, and my Commissioner of Police says I should please extend his sympathy to you, and he has called for a meeting on Monday.
As at the time of filing this report, no mercy has returned to the area. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
The Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprise and the Niger Delta Life ND, a counterpart arrangement between the federal government, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, the Ondo State Government and the Niger Delta Development Commission to improve agriculture and empower Niger Delta youth, has enrolled 2,000 youth across the 3 senatorial districts of Ondo State for the 5th edition of its mentorship training program. Addressing the beneficiaries at Idori, the state projects coordinator Olawale Ademola said the goal of the program is to transform Nigerian youth, create job opportunities, ensure food security, and improve the nation's economy. Joy Pius, again in this report, said over 26,000 youth have benefited across the 6 states of Abia, Bayelsa, Cross River State, Delta, and Ondo since the inception.
Interview the youth that have been selected to benefit from the project called IFAD Life ND. We are here today giving them orientation. The experiment that was carried out recently, over 90% of the youth, they are on their own, self-employed, independent entrepreneurs. So that's what we have as at last year, November. That is the outcome of the survey that was conducted across general government areas in the state.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, Edward Ogumola, reiterated government's passion at ensuring improvement of the agricultural sector, urging participants to leverage on the opportunity provided.
The state has keyed into this valuable program.
A reasonable number of its people have benefited from global progress by overcoming poverty through remunerative, sustainable, and resilient livelihood. Some of these achievements of the state include distribution of check worth over 240 million to about 215.
The beneficiaries are grateful for the opportunity.
We are very happy that things like this comes to our aid for how we have been tormented by hardships and poverty for that so long, and we are depending on God and that it will enlighten and strengthen us more financially. So we are grateful.
We thank them very much for that. Just life-changing program, and I want a big empowerment that will assist me in my area of specialization, which is agrochemical spraying.
The 300 newly selected beneficiaries of the IFAD Life ND program from Idonri local government area of Ondo State are to be trained and mentored on cocoa production across the value chain, which include processing and marketing of the commodities. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
And as a temporary response to the nation's growing food crisis and the rising price of commodities, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the immediate release of more than 100,000 metric tons of various grains types from the strategic reserve and the Rice Association of Nigeria. The government also warned that those holding foodstuffs would be dealt with. The Minister of Information and National Reputation a final leg of meetings of the Presidential Committee on Emergency Food Intervention in Abuja. After the first meeting, the federal government said it is very concerned about what Nigerians are going through, especially with what happened in Mina. It said it is taking some actions to ensure the Nigerians have some relief in terms of availability of food on the table. Meanwhile, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, said the House will introduce an emergency aid bill shortage is experiencing. Abbas, who stated this during a press briefing at the National Assembly complex, said that lawmakers are aware of the hardship and pains Nigerians are going through and called for patience with the Bola Tinubu administration. He added that the House would also support import and export policies that would help address the rising cost of living in the country. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break, we bring you more stories. Please stay.
Hello, my bro. Man, the road is so heavy here. And there's so much traffic. I think we should postpone, huh?
Not a chance. Aisha.
we don't quit, guys. I'll be there.
Done.
2 files received.
I'm on my way. Take first right in 50 meters and you're there.
Copy that. Aisha, where are you?
Guess where?
2 minutes! 2 minutes! Move! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Runway X.
The future of fashion showcasing.
Very impressive. How did you pull that off?
With Nigeria's top tech talents.
And Globe.
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow with pride.
You are welcome back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and you can also join us on our YouTube and subscribe to our channel OSRC TV. Ondo. Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and Trade Union Congress of Nigeria TUC have declared a 14-day notice of strike to the federal government for failing to implement the 16-point agreement reached on October 2, 2023. In a statement jointly signed by NLC and TUC President Comrade Joe Ajero and Festus Osifo after a meeting in Abuja, the DOL said that non-implementation of the agreement by the federal government has deepened mass suffering, adding that it is a show of bad faith. The union added that despite the passage of time, the majority of these crucial agreements remain unmet, indicating a blatant disregard for the principles of good faith, welfare, and rights of Nigerian workers and Nigerians. The federal government has appealed to the organized labor comprising the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC, Nigeria, not to embark on strike. Government which stated that it is not in the interest of anyone for two labour centres to embark on strike, refuted the allegations by the labour unions that government does not keep to its promises. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who made the appeal in reaction to the threat by the organized labour to go on strike, called them to a roundtable discussion in order to arrive at amicable resolutions to any differences. Recall that the NLC and TUC had issued 14-day nationwide strike notice to the federal government over the wars and suffering in the country and the non-implementation of 16-point agreement entered into in October 2, 2023. And now President Bola Tinubu has directed the mandatory recitation of the national after the national anthem at every official and public engagement. Tinubu, who spoke at the groundbreaking ceremony of the 3,112 housing units renewed Hope City at Kansana, Abuja, said the imperativeness of respecting national values, promoting the nation's ideals, and abiding by its established norms. In a statement by the president's spokesman, Ajuri Ngelale, President Tinubu also called on Nigerians to uphold the country's glory. According to the statements, the president emphasized that it is important for citizens to have absolute respect for national symbols, strengthen allegiance and fidelity to country, and to preserve Nigeria's ethos and defining character. The Independent National Electoral Commission says 16 matters would be fielding candidates in the September 21, 2024 Edo State Governorship election. The National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, who spoke to newsmen, identified the parties as Accord Party, Action Alliance, African Democratic Congress, All Progressives Congress, All Progressives Grand Alliance, and the Allied People's Movement. Others are Action People's Party, Book Party, Labour Party, New Nigerian People's Party, National Rescue Movement, People's Democratic Party, People's Redemption Party, Social Democratic Party, Young Progressive Party, and Zenith Labour Party. He advised them to ensure that they conduct rancor-free primaries. Olumekun said 16 political parties have notified the Commission of their intention to participate in the election as well as their preferred modes and dates of primaries. Following the backlash that followed the arrest of protesters over the rise in food prices in Mina, the Niger State government has granted administrative bail to the woman who initiated the protest, Aisha Jibrin, and 24 others arrested by police. Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Ajiya Binta Maman, said that after conducting its findings, the state government exonerated the 57-year-old Jibrin of any wrong. She explained that all those arrested along with the initiator have been released on bail. The commissioner tendered apologies from the state government. She said that the Niger State government is committed to upholding citizens' rights and freedoms, ensuring transparency, fairness, and justice in all legal matters. The U.S. court has been hearing arguments in a case that could have major implications for the upcoming presidential election. Colorado's Supreme Court ruled that Donald Trump is not an eligible candidate because of his actions during the January 6th Capitol riots in 2021. It's now up to the nation's highest court to decide if that ruling should stand.
The Supreme Court has a conservative majority, 6 conservative justices to 3 liberals. But it wasn't just those appointed by Republican presidents who questioned the Colorado Supreme Court's ruling that Donald Trump was ineligible to run for president. Using Section 3 of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution that bars those who've engaged in insurrection against the U.S. from holding certain offices, Colorado's highest court had ruled that Donald Trump should be removed from the ballot because, in its opinion, his actions on January the 6th did amount to insurrection. But this argument was greeted with skepticism at Thursday's hearing. Here is Liberal Justice Elena Kagan.
I think that the question that you have to confront is why a single state should decide who gets to be president of the United States.
And Chief Justice Roberts suggested chaos might ensue where Colorado's decision to be upheld as Republican officials in those states used the president to argue that it was in fact Joe Biden who was guilty of insurrection against the U.S.
What do you do with what would seem to me to be plain consequences of your position? If Colorado's position is upheld, surely there will be disqualification proceedings on the other side, and some of those will succeed.
The proceedings appear to be a boost to Donald Trump's argument that it was up to Congress and not individual states to decide if a candidate was ineligible to run for president under the insurrection clause of the Constitution. Speaking after the hearing from Florida, Donald the process a beautiful process.
It's unfortunate that we have to go through a thing like that. I consider it to be more election interference by the Democrats. That's what they're doing. The good news is we're leading virtually every poll.
The court is expected to briefly. Colorado's Republican primary is just weeks away. If the court rules in Trump's favor, he will be on the March 5th ballot.
And still on the foreign scene, medical workers in Gaza are under attack as Israeli forces have deliberately shot and injured them while they were on duty. Shortage of medical personnel at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis has made it difficult to treat sick and injured Palestinians. Doctors at Nasser Hospital are calling for foreign intervention to ensure the safety of medical workers as Israel's blockade of food, fuel, and medicine entering Gaza has worsened the situation, making it harder for understaffed hospitals to operate effectively. Oluseyi Akinwandire has the detail.
There are less medics to treat sick and injured Palestinians at the severely short-staffed Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. This nurse has been shot in the chest while on duty. His colleagues say he was deliberately targeted by Israeli forces. This doctor being treated on an operating table was also shot at work.
While Dr. Nusayb was on duty in the operation room at Al Nasser Medical Complex, he was deliberately shot by a sniper from the occupation forces. He sustained a gunshot wound to the chest and is currently in critical condition. The danger now extends to medical personnel while they are performing their duties. It's no longer just displaced individuals and patients being targeted.
Doctors at Nasser Hospital are demanding foreign intervention to ensure safety of medical workers. US President Joe Biden described Israel's war on Gaza as overall and says it's trying to stop the fighting.
Because I think if we can get the delay for that, the initial delay, I think that we would be able to extend that so that we can increase the prospect that this fighting in Gaza changes.
Meanwhile, Israel has intensified strikes in Rafah where Palestinians were told to relocate for their safety. 8 people, including children, have been killed in the bombing on Thursday. Israel's blockade on food, fuel and medicine entering Gaza has made it difficult for the troops and the stocked hospitals to operate effectively. An Israeli sniper fire on Palestinian medical workers is putting the treatment of the patients in jeopardy. Oluseyi Akinwalere, Osrc News.
In sports, Nigerians, both home and abroad, show high expectations and optimism that the Super Eagles will triumph over the host nation Cote d'Ivoire on Sunday. Following their 1-0 win in the group stage, the Elephants will be looking to beat the nation twice in the CAF African Cup of Nations tournament for the first time since 2006. Nigeria will be playing in their African final. Only Egypt and Ghana have played in more games in the competition, excluding final groups. Success on Sunday will see them go level with Ghana on 4. Represented by Cameroon and Egypt. Cote d'Ivoire are looking to tie the Super continental titles. Nigerians are hopeful Jose Pesero tutored Super Eagles team will defeat Cote d'Ivoire convincingly to clinch the title after a long wait at the African tournament. With that sports story, we conclude the news now, but before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that hundreds of students of Federal University of Technology Akure this morning barricaded the Akure-Elisha Expressway in protest of incessant robbery attacks. The federal government has appealed to Labour to shelve planned industrial action. President Tinubu has directed recitation of national pledge and official functions. From the foreign scene, medical workers in Gaza are under attack. Israeli forces have deliberately shot and injured them while on duty. That's the news tonight. Thank you for your time.